And we're live from Mountain Built Acres. Hey guys, Mountain Built Acres here in Idaho. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully we got good audio. Hopefully we got good connection. It looks like we do because we're outside on our deck.
Yep.
It's a lovely spring day.
There's Honey right there. Her belly. She's hiding behind the tree. Oh, there's her face.
She'll be making appearances here and there. We thought it'd be fun since we have a gap between rain showers to come out here and have Honey in the background, and you can see it's greening up here.
She's also trying to be a ninja stealth mode behind the tree.
Yeah,
she's from Riata.
Yeah. She's referring to our new little short video that we put out today. That was so much fun.
That was a team effort.
If you haven't seen it yet, you go check it out. It's
definitely worth it.
Really high quality.
Super high quality.
All right. Well, we started kind of early, so I figured we would do some thank yous.
Yes.
Really quickly.
Yes.
So first off, thank you all for being here. If you're new here, this isn't our usual video. This is where we catch up with everyone, answer questions, because we have a hard time doing comments and even emails nowadays. So if you have questions, this video is a place to drop it.
But we appreciate all your comments and emails. So please don't stop leaving comments and emails, because we try to read them all. We just can't respond to them all, but we really appreciate it. And we love reading them. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, we do. And we have been reading them. That's true. That's a good point. It's just to take time to respond to them takes a little too much of the day. And Alyssa's got editing to do.
Yes.
So anyways, so yeah, this isn't our normal video. This is just our Monday check-in, hang out, answer questions, and just give a little life update and just kind of chill with you guys. But we want to start with thank yous today because we have 3 of them. These are from our Amazon wish list. So Kevin and Michelle Gooseman, thank you guys. You're awesome. They got us a big jolly ball or
another
ball.
One of those big mega balls like Honey's been playing with, which is exciting because Honey stole it from the rest of the herd and Mesa likes it. So now we'll have multiple. You want me to put those in my pocket?
Done.
Thank you guys so much.
And then we got a gift as well from Nancy Orstrom. So thank you for that. And Melody L. Rose. Yeah. Thank you guys. That's awesome. It's like the funnest thing ever because we get these packages in the mail and I don't know what they are. And so it's like a little miniature Christmas.
Yeah, they just show up. So. They both got us some silver lining herbs, which is awesome. We feed that to our herd, so we really appreciate it. And some dog treats, which the dogs absolutely love.
Yeah.
Those chicken jerky things are their favorite. They love those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Squirrel used to not like getting in the car. And so we started giving him high quality treats whenever he gets in the car. And he kind of got to where he just runs and jumps right in now.
He tries to jump in so fast. The other day I didn't get the door open in time. He slipped right to the door.
Yeah.
So that's how excited he is now to get in the car.
He's diving in there and clipped his head right on the back of the Subaru.
I felt so bad. Yeah. Poor squirrel.
Hit the heart button if you guys remember watching squirrels wreck way back in the day when we were fishing at a high country lake and squirrel was just tearing across and
dove right into that ditch.
There was a ditch that he didn't see in the grass and he just jumped and just. But anyways, probably a lot of you guys weren't here yet.
Yep.
So anyway, thank you guys for being here. I think we'll kind of dive in. Basically our topic for the day, since we're starting these scenes with a little talking point before questions start coming in, is Honey. Let's talk about Honey a little bit.
Honey.
Yeah, our girl, our new Mustang, Honey, for those that are new around here.
We call her Honey Bunny because if you guys haven't noticed, she has kind of a bunny shaped white spot on her belly. It even has a little eyeball. She has a little black spot where its eyeball would be. So her name's Honey Bunny.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about our latest video, which was the Liberty training with Honey the Mustang, and just kind of how that's going?
Yeah. So the approach I took with Honey, day 1 through little over 3, we didn't get to work with her very much before we started having to start traveling for work. And unfortunately, we were gone more than we were planning on when we adopted her. So, but the approach I took with her, the first little bit worked well with her. It was the same approach I took with Rooster, and it was working well. And then she kind of changed, and so looking back on it, we were like, I think she might have ulcers, just the way she was acting and the way she was kind of losing some body condition and stuff. And when we got back from Arizona, she was a little bit ribby and just didn't look that great. And so anyway, we started her on those ulcer meds, And I kind of took the same approach. There's some good horsemen I look up to, and you know, they had taken that approach with Mustangs, sort of similar to her, with more curiosity though, and it had worked well. And so I was like, well, we'll just give that a shot again. And I mean, I guess it worked as far as being able to touch her again. But as you guys, if you watched that video, saw, she definitely wasn't comfortable with it. And I don't know, if it's not a win for both of us, it just doesn't really sit well with me. And I just didn't feel like that was the right approach to keep taking. One, for my safety, if she were to start getting defensive about it because she wasn't enjoying it. And then two, also, obviously, I don't want to push her into doing that. So we started feeding her an ulcer feed through, and people have asked what we use. We got a 100X equine, their product called Gut X, and that's what we've been giving Taz, and it has worked really good for Taz. And so since I bought jugs of that stuff for Taz, I was like, well, we have enough on hand. I can just start giving it to Honey as well. And so it seems to have worked really well for her. I wish you guys could see her better. She has gained a bunch of weight back. She's looking really good. She's really filling out. Her appetite has come back. Like, we give her free choice hay in that silver bin back there, but it would take her a couple days to clean it up, and now it's like a day, and she cleans up the same amount. So we've started upping her feed, so her appetite's better. But yeah, so obviously she wasn't really enjoying that approach. And sometimes horses, you know, sometimes the approach causes a little stress, but you can like work through that and out the other side. It's a lot better for them. But Honey, I felt like it wasn't going to lead to that. So, you know, I'm not like against causing some stress to horses, because some of it is healthy and it's needed and it's good for them to a certain point. But I felt like for her, it was like over that limit. So anyway, when I was a kid, who I first kind of started following, and some of you are going to be like, ugh, and some of you might understand, but was Pat Pirelli. I was like in the Pirelli program. I know people have different opinions on them. For me as a kid, it was a good way into what people refer to as natural horsemanship, which in my mind is just horsemanship. I know that's kind of like a term for it, but anyway. And so they do a lot of liberty based stuff. And I know, you know, a lot of you guys have mentioned like Ryan Rose. He was a Pirelli instructor for a long time, and kind of his base is the same. But they do focus on some liberty stuff. And so as a young kid, I was really into liberty, and I could do all kinds of liberty things with my horses and really enjoyed that, like all kinds of tricks and things like that. And you know, they ride a lot like bridleless, bareback and bridleless and stuff like that. So anyway, as a kid, I would do all that kind of stuff and just have fun seeing like what I could get done at Liberty. And I haven't really done a lot of that, because mostly then I trained for the public for a little while, and a lot of people obviously aren't into Liberty train. Like, they don't want their horse Liberty trained when they send it to a trainer. They want it to be, you know, to quit bucking or whatever. So did that. I ended up barrel racing for a while. I colt started reining and cutting horse colts for a guy. So anyway, Liberty training just wasn't really a thing with any of that. And I kind of got away from it. So I haven't done that for a long time. I've messed around with Clyde a little bit with Liberty stuff and just for fun. But with her, I was like, well, I can't touch her. I don't want to just, and I've been sitting in her pen quite a bit. Like, some people suggested that, and I have been. Like, I don't know how much time I've spent with her lately, but a ton.
Multiple hours a day, probably on average. I bet 3 hours a day.
Probably.
I feel like, yeah, just chilling in there, hanging out, editing videos, or just whatever, uploading stuff on the phone. Or
and thank goodness I am able to do that, because if we had a regular job, there's no way, you know. So I'm really fortunate that I can do that with her. So it's not for a lack of time, but anyway, so I was like, well, I can't touch her. I don't want to just not do anything with her until I can touch her again, you know. And so I split my time just sitting with her and chilling with her. But also then I was like, well, we can start establishing some communication through some Liberty work. So that's been really fun. And I feel like that, one, has really brought out her curiosity. Like, this horse had no curiosity. If you go back to day one, she could not give me two eyes. She would just she just wanted to go around in the pen and be like, I can't even see you. You don't exist. I'm just going to be over here doing my thing. you're not even here. Like, I'm gonna block you out from, so seeing her get curious about things is pretty awesome. And like have that personality come out. And now I'll like bring a new object in there and she's like, "Ooh, what's that?" And so that's really cool to see. And she started getting, you can tell she's curious about me. She's just still nervous. So um she's not sure yet, but she's like more and more I can see her just kind of letting down that wall and getting more curious and getting more relaxed and stuff. And so it's been really fun to kind of be like, okay, what can we do next? And like, what's another thing we can work on and stuff like that. So I think it's working really good with her. And I'm just going to continue that approach for a while, and we'll probably switch it up again at some point, as she progresses and things get better and whatever. But for now, I'm just going to keep doing that. So, and it'll probably take a long time still to get to where we can touch her, but eventually she's just going to have a breakthrough, I think. So,
yeah,
we're just waiting for that day.
For me, it's been really enjoyable to watch Alyssa work with Honey, because I think one of the signs of like a truly good horseman is not just having like one method that you force every horse into, but being able to adjust to match the horse and meet the horse where he or she is at. And it's been fun to watch Alyssa try what worked with Rooster, and that wasn't working. It would have eventually worked, but it wasn't working very well with Honey. And then she was thinking about it and try something different, and to see Honey start to open up to that method has been really enjoyable. And I think it's a sign of Alyssa's gift with horses. So anyways, I've been enjoying it selfishly, just getting to watch Honey's improvement from a distance. And she's definitely gotten softer. You guys that commented that on the video, that Honey's eyes look a lot softer and she just looks more at peace. You're spot on. She is way more at peace and she's way more curious. So it's been pretty fun. Let's get to a couple questions before I lose them. A quick one is, who makes GutX? And it is 100X Equine, like 100X Equine.
And we're not sponsored.
Yeah, we're not sponsored, but we do.
I wish we were, because we use a lot of it and it's expensive.
And we do believe in the product too.
Yes.
So I would recommend it. Definitely, if you got something that you think maybe having stomach issues, give it a try. It's not cheap, but if it works, it's worth it. I
feel like Silver Lining Herbs, I feel like I've seen good results from that. I don't really have any proof if they work or not, but I definitely believe in them. So sorry if I don't know if we went black for a second, but if we did, sorry. Jason minimized our screen.
I accidentally, on our members only live on Thursday, I accidentally ended that one prematurely, and I almost just did the same on here. I had a little flashback. We're good though. The timer's still ticking. There's still some people on here, so bear with me. All right, the next question was, where do you get your Makati reins? I don't even remember where I got mine. It was so long ago.
Yeah, we have all kinds.
But so the nice ones are from somewhere like Buckaroo Businesses in Billings, Montana. They have really nice ones.
Yeah, my horsehair ones that I use on Clyde are from Buckaroo Businesses, and Clyde munched them while we were in Arizona. I was so sick. They still work for now, but they have a big old chew spot in them. Thanks, Clyde. The white ones that we use are actually from Pirelli. Those are from back when I was like 14, 15 years old, and I still have them. A lot of the stuff I have is from Pirelli way back in the day. I worked for them, not really. I volunteered at quite a few of their like clinic stops, and they give you like vouchers for their shop if you volunteer at their clinic. So I got a bunch of like free stuff basically for going and hanging out in their shop and selling things. So that's why I have a ton of Pirelli stuff, because it was good quality gear and it lasted. But man, it's expensive. I looked recently and I was like, whoa, that stuff's expensive. So
where did Heidi get her Makati reins that
there's
she really
a
likes?
T3 Weaver. They do like I think it's an alpaca blend. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they have really good Makatis. And if you don't like the feel of that horsehair, it's kind of pokey, then that's an option. I don't know quality wise like how they'll last, but I've heard from a couple people that they really like those. So, and then there's Quality, I'm gonna get this wrong. Quality Horseman, maybe something like that. Sorry. Ryan Rose uses them, and I did look at their website and it looks similar to like the Pirelli stuff I have, and it was much cheaper. So nice. You guys are looking for rope halters and stuff. We haven't bought any yet, but it seems like they make good gear. And if you're looking for mule size halters, Ty Evans has some really good ones. They are pretty big for our horses, but they work really good for our mules. So
but we were talking about Makati reins though.
I know I got off track. I got just into all the gear. So there you go.
But yeah,
Makati reins.
And you don't necessarily need expensive Makati reins. Mine are fairly inexpensive and they've lasted years. So
yeah,
but if you want pretty ones, Capriolas, Buckaroo businesses, that's where I would look.
If you're in a dry climate, those horsehair ones and stuff like that work great. If you're in a wetter climate, like I was from Western Oregon, the yacht rope stuff, if you don't care about how they look, those will probably last a lot longer if they're going to get wet all the time. So just something to think about.
Here's a question from Cray. First off, hi Cray, thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Long-time subscriber. Why don't you wear cowboy hats outside for these interviews? You guys used to, I know you wear them when you ride. I kind of try to force myself to wear them when we ride because I feel like I don't want to have skin cancer on my ears and nose. And so I try to wear it. I'm more of, I grew up playing baseball and just a baseball cap feels super comfortable to me. So I kind of live in one of these. But when we go ride, I do try to wear some kind of a brimmed hat. And the only ones I have are cowboy hats. So, but for truth be told, Cray, right now I'm wearing sweatpants and tennis shoes and a hoodie. Today was an editing day. And I would feel real dorky if I was wearing a cowboy hat with sweatpants and a hoodie. So it was more of a ball cap kind of day today, truth be told.
I at least got my jeans on today, so I'm winning.
Yeah, I know you are winning.
Yeah.
So what we do behind the scenes when we're editing, right now, Alyssa sometimes edits in the office, but right now she's set up in the living room and she edits our long form videos, the high quality stuff. And I go out in the horse trailer that we bought from TS Mules. And I call it my rolling office. So I go out to my rolling office and I do the short form videos or the low quality stuff that you guys see on our channel.
And when it's not raining or super windy, if it's super windy, then that sand blows around it. And I don't want to get my laptop all ruined because we have expensive laptops for editing, but I'll go out and sit with Honey.
So I edit with Honey. Wore my sweats and sat in the trailer all day today, Cray.
Today was off and on rain. So
yeah, thankfully it's nice now.
Really nice.
Here's another question for you. What are some green broke tips? Or what are green broke tips? Did you mention any like tips for something that's green broke? Like if you're getting something that's green broke, what would be some tips? I think is what they're asking. This is from All Day Outdoors. So if you want to ask your question and clarify if I was wrong, then re-ask it and I'll try to find it.
Yeah, maybe ask for some clarification what exactly I mean.
Okay. All right, we'll skip that one and come back to it. So if you could ask that one again, we'll try not to be confused next time. This one's from Janine Chase. What about the bitless training bridle you had on Rooster in the last video? Where did you get it?
I got that from a neighbor. She just gave it to me. And to be completely honest, I didn't want to spend the money on a smaller Bozell for Rooster, and Clyde's head stall that I had custom made is just a little big for Rooster. Doesn't really fit him. His Bozell's a little big too. And so my neighbor gave me that, and I was like, hey, that actually fits Rooster. So for now, I'm using that because I'm trying not to spend $400 on a Bozell and another however much on a hanger and another whatever for Makati's. And it's like $600, $700 to get all set up with a setup like that. So yeah, that's why. But it might be Clinton Anderson. I honestly don't remember who made it. I know she was a big fan of Clinton Anderson. So she gave me a Clinton Anderson stick, which whatever, it's a horsemanship stick. So I've been using that. And then that bridle, the head stall. So, which is like a lariat rope. I think it would be referred to as like a loping Bozell, maybe is what they call it. But seems to work. So
yeah, it's nice. It's similar feel to
just a
regular Hackamore setup.
Yeah.
All right. Another question. This one's from Lori. Do you think having a second horse in with Honey when you're playing with her would give her confidence? That's a good question.
Maybe. I think it would cause a lot of confusion because you have another horse that you're now having to deal with. So now you have to worry about like what that horse is doing. If that horse cuts her off, it might be really confusing. So I know a lot of people think it would be best to keep your Mustang with other horses, but honestly, it's actually better if you can work with them one-on-one. It's safer for you. It's safer for your other horses. It's safer for the Mustang. So, she is a wild horse, and last thing I want is to put Rooster or Clyde in there just free and have someone end up getting kicked and injured. We already had Rooster's elbow injury. I'm not looking to get another one. So eventually she'll be able to go in with the others, but I think adding too much might just be too much.
Yeah.
So.
One thing I'll add to that is we definitely aim for simplicity when we first bring a Mustang home. Like with Rooster and with Honey, it's like I don't do anything with them. We just go for simplicity and, more importantly, clarity. So like I don't work with them. Maybe like with Rooster, I would go in and like clean his pen and stuff, but we just keep it simple, keep it clear, and try to avoid complexity
and like
for the
Honey,
most part.
He'll feed Honey sometimes and like hang out next to her feeder, stuff like that. Like we want her to get used to him, but I'm sure Jason and I even have a different way of working with horses as far as like signals and just things like that. Even though we have similar styles, it's like we're just different people, and so you don't want to add too much. This person does things a little bit differently than that person when they're trying to learn. It's really important to be consistent with your cues and your clarification. So.
Yeah. Great question though, and very valid question. Here's one from All the Scraps. Where can I get a mount built hoodie like the one Jason wore in a recent video? Was it? I have a tan one and I have this one. And so all our stuff that we have for sale is at mountainbuiltmerch.com or mountainbuiltmustangs.com.
Goes to the same place.
It goes to the same place. And so we have stickers and we have a couple of ball caps and some hoodies, and we'll have more coming up on there as time allows Alyssa to do a little more artsy stuff. But yeah, thanks for asking. Hopefully that's the one you were talking about. I can't think of another one I have. Here's one from Jesse. Says, is there a method of training you recommend after a Mustang has been gentled? Great question.
Yeah, I mean, I think, gosh, a lot of the horsemen I follow, maybe there's slight differences, but they're all basically the same. So there's a guy named Ray Hunt, and he really had a huge influence on just horsemanship in general. And so there's a ton of trainers that have learned from Ray, or, like Buck Brannaman, Ty Evans learned from Buck Brannaman and Martin Black, and those guys that also have learned from Ray. So anyway, there's like Ray Hunt, and then it's kind of trickled down through all these horsemen. So there's a lot of horsemen that use the same sort of methods. So
that style of horsemanship, the Buck Brannaman, Ty Evans style, if you have one that's already gentled and you're just looking to create a relationship with it and bond with it and work really well and get handy with it, that's where we would go. Yeah. So there's a lot of different opinions, but that's where we would go. Good question, Jesse. And another one from Jesse, is that a haste draft hat that Alyssa's wearing? Yeah, that's from Steven. He sent it over to us as a gift after we were on his podcast, the Harness Up podcast. So yeah, thank you, Steven, if you see this. And he gave me one too. I am just not wearing it this evening. But this one's from Carl. Says, any ideas for a mule that is very barn sour? Good question. And you can get pretty deep with that. Yeah. But make the right thing easy and the wrong thing difficult. And Alyssa, you can dive into that a teeny bit.
So yeah, I would just make the barn the difficult place to be. And you don't have to do anything crazy. You just make it a little more uncomfortable. So if your mule won't leave the barn, try to walk away from the barn. As soon as they want to go back to the barn, that's fine.
You let them go.
As soon as they get back to that barn, make them work a little bit. Do some serpentines, do some circles. As Ty says, their tail should be flagging. Like, you want them to feel a little bit of pressure. Now, you don't have to overdo it, or you don't have to be mean to them or anything, but you just want to hustle them a little bit. And then as soon as you've hustled them for a little while, then turn them away from the barn and let them walk away from the barn. And as soon as they go back, then hustle them up and then do it again, and do that over and over and over. until finally they can go out and they can just stop out there. And they don't want to turn and go back to the barn, and just let them rest out away from the barn and make that the good spot. And eventually, as time goes on, you can get this further and further and further away from the barn until eventually you can just go out and ride away from the barn. But at first, I mean, it might be 10 feet away from the barn might be a win. I don't know how bad your mule is. 50 feet away from the barn might be a win. You know, half a mile away from the barn might be a win. So just take it as your mule can handle it, and this will help you from getting into wrecks. Because if you just fight them and just try to get them to go, you're making going away from the barn worse for them, and they're going to be like, heck no, I don't want to do this. I get to go hang out with my friends in my comfy stall or whatever and eat my hay in there. Why do I want to come out here and, you know, get all this pressure on me? So make the barn the place that's a little more difficult to be.
Yep. Good question. Good answer. Another question from Cray. First off, actually, before we get to this question, there have been a ton of really nice chats coming in. So thank you guys. We see them and we appreciate them. So thank you guys.
Sorry if I have a blank face. Look on my face during these lives. So when I try to read, I'm like focused, and then every once in a while we watch it back. I'm like, what am I doing?
What am I looking? I'm reading. You can look friendly and happy. I'll do the reading.
Oh,
We've talked about RBF on here before,
Yeah.
so you just smile at the camera there.
It's me trying to read from over here. I'm like, what is that say?
All right, here's one from Cray. Have you ever been afraid of any horse or mule, or had a sense that they were dangerous?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'll let you go first.
Well, my first horse really scared me. The first day I got him, I went out there and hugged him because I loved him so much, because I'm like a 9-year-old girl with my new horse, and he chomped me right on the arm. He didn't appreciate being hugged. And I still have a scar from it. Now I'm fond of it because me and that horse ended up working it out. But the first time I ever rode him, he bolted and then tried to buck me off. And yeah, I was terrified. I was actually really terrified to ride as a kid. I still did it because I loved it, but I was very, very timid. So I've gotten in, knock on wood, really only one bad horse wreck. So, but yeah, there's been some horses I've worked with that have been borderline dangerous over the years, and just because they're afraid, and you know, they just react out of fear, but it could be really dangerous. So how about you? Have you had one that you
Nothing crazy. So the first horse I ever had was a mare, and during her first heat cycle of every year, she was a nightmare to ride. She wouldn't listen. She was just amped up. She wouldn't steer. And so that's kind of scary. Like when you're riding, that was when I was in South Dakota riding on the sanctuary. And it's like, you try to go out and do a job or whatever, and you don't have steering or brakes or any say in the matter. It's not very fun, and it's a little bit scary, but nothing crazy. When Taz is amped up, he's so big, it's a little scary, but nothing crazy. Like,
yeah,
I could see him tripping when he's amped up and not paying attention to where his feet are.
That's the only thing that concerns me with him, is just him, yeah, like tripping and like falling on you. I don't think he would really try to hurt you, but sometimes he just doesn't. He just gets kind of amped. He doesn't watch where his feet are. Hopefully not next time we take him out, but in the past. So we've just been riding him to get him over it. He's been doing really good. So
okay, let's do a couple quick hitters, and then I'll get to this one from Denise. So can you tell if Honey has had a foal in her past?
yes,
At least one.
at least one. We have one picture of her. You could tell she's pregnant in the picture, and then she's definitely been nursed on. You can tell she's been nursed on. So she's had a foal in the past for sure. At least one, like you said.
How tall are both of you?
Right at 6 foot.
Both of us right at 6 foot. She's exactly 6 foot, and I'm exactly 6 foot and 1 centimeter, obviously. All right, those are our two quick hitters. So now, why are equines trained in a halter first and then into a snaffle? That's a good question. You're looking at me like you want me to answer, or do you have an answer?
My answer is, I think a lot of it is really kind of, well, a couple things. A bit just adds another level to the horses that are new to a rider on their back. It's just one more thing that they have to process and think about. So sometimes it's a little easier for them to handle kind of one thing at a time. And that rider being the one thing, they can deal with a bit later. The other thing is a lot of it is for the rider. So you don't want to pull on a young horse with 2 hands.
Like to stop.
Yeah, which is hard to do when that's what you've always done. And so being in a rope halter, it's just you're not pulling on their mouth and making them brace you right off the bat. So
yeah. Ty, when I went and watched the TS Mules colt starting, which I highly recommend, just like watching or taking a colt there, he had them in the rope halter the first day, and then the second day, I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this, he had them in the snaffle.
so.
That being said, before you show up to that colt starting clinic, you should be having your colt pack a snaffle without like using it. So just have the head stall on and the snaffle in their mouth, no reins. That way they can just get used to having that snaffle in their mouth. So that's
weird for them.
That's how he does it.
They're gonna want to chew on it and play with it because it's a metal object in their mouth. So they have to get used to that feel and that weight and carrying it and all that stuff. So the more you can do that before you ever start picking up on the reins with the snaffle, the better.
And you have good lateral control with a snaffle, better than with a hackamore. I mean, better than with a hackamore or a halter. Yeah. Here's a question that I really like from Mackenzie. It says, I've had horses my whole life and have started a few and I'm wanting to get a mule. Would you recommend a young mule or an older started mule? And I have a solid answer for this. For you don't want to go first? Okay, you can think about it while I go. My answer was, if you are experienced and you have like a base level of horsemanship and confidence, I would go with a younger mule versus an older one, because it's like, I feel like mules can hang on to bad habits or poor treatment from their previous owners. Like they hold on to it pretty tightly. And if you have one that's a blank slate and you have good horsemanship, good feel, timing, balance, all those good words, you're probably going to get along with the mule and you'll be able to build it up from the ground up and just a blank slate. So that's my initial thought. Do you have anything to add on that?
No, I think you're good. Yeah, if you can find a mule, at least that's mentally good, that's older, you can work on getting them softer and stuff like that in time. But yeah, a lot of older mules unfortunately have kind of been, I don't know, treated roughly or not. I guess people just don't expect mules to be as soft as horses, and so a lot of times they're not ridden like they can be, if that makes sense. People just kind of pull and yank and whatever, and so a lot of mules don't really have a lot of softness. They're less apt to be soft than horses anyway. They're more apt to brace. So
yep.
But if you have good timing and a lot of patience, and then you'd be totally fine with a young one. If you've colt started before, then you'd be good.
Yep. Here's another question from Rafael Torres. With your herd growing, are you guys going to be taking a couple of them with you into the mountains? I'm sure you feel bad leaving them behind. And yes, we'll be ponying the crew this year. We'll be rotating through who's being ridden, who's being ponied. I'll probably be riding Taz, ponying Riata a lot, definitely ponying Mesa a lot, and getting her packing that snaffle like we were just talking about, packing the snaffle and empty pack saddle, just so she can get used to having that snaffle in her mouth and then just having that kind of pressure on her back without the weight while she's growing. So we'll be doing a lot of ponying this year for sure. And it's nice to keep everyone legged up and doing good in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. Do you have probably nothing to add on that?
No.
We'll be rotating through the whole crew. Hey, Debbie's here. Debbie, first off, Debbie, if you can drop in here, did you end up getting your Mustang?
Yeah.
We want an update on that.
Yes.
Oh, crud. It moved on me. Okay. Here's Debbie's question. What is Honey's grain ration mix? Great question.
She gets some silver lining herbs. She gets her gut X. She gets rice bran for weight gain. She gets a ration balancer for all her vitamins and minerals. And then she gets a tiny little bit of growth grain that the girls have. It's just kind of a sweet feed. It's a molasses-based grain. And that's just because that's the only thing she liked. So we started just giving her that so she could kind of get the taste for grain. And then as she started liking it, then we've put less and less and less of that in and more of the actual stuff I want her to eat. So she gets a tiny little bit of that still. And then I always pick her some handfuls of green grass and mix that in because I feel like that would be tasty. So it's kind of a treat.
Yeah. And she's gaining weight too. She's looking good.
She is. She's looking really good.
Filling out. Even since the filming of that video that came out yesterday, she's filled out even more. So she's like on the up and up. She's doing good mentally. She's taking lots of naps. She's shedding out. Her like hind end and her little flanks are filling out.
Yeah, when I was watching that, I was like, oh, she's kind of ribby. And we dewormed her since then, which we just used a feed through dewormer. So like a pelletized dewormer for horses, and she ate it, thankfully. And so, but yeah, I was looking back and I was like, oh, she's gained quite a bit of weight since then. So she's looking good.
Yeah.
And she is such a cool color. Like she's not quite all the way shed out, but she's getting really dark and she's dappley, but she also is almost like kind of rony. I don't know. She's really cool looking.
Yeah. I'm
really curious once we pull her hair to do like a color DNA test on her just to see, and obviously a breed DNA test just to see how that comes back too. But it'll be a while.
Yeah.
Obviously I want to be friends with her before I start pulling her hair out. So it's going to be a while.
One step at a time.
Oh, you finally let me touch you.
Yeah.
Might not go well.
All right. Here is one that is not a question, but it's a comment from Mindy Leanne. And I want to address it because we get similar comments a lot of the time. It says, I'm envious of your lives. All I want in life is to have acreage and farm animals with the means and knowledge to care for them. And I want to say, I don't obviously know your specific situation, but I do want to say Alyssa and I are nothing special. Alyssa is special, obviously, but as a couple
in that way,
special needs. Just kidding. No, but I do want to say in all seriousness, like
he just jumped on it. Jumped on it. Didn't even hesitate.
In all seriousness, like the house that is right behind this computer is a double wide. And the reason we have a double wide is because we don't care about the house we live in. What we really want is these animals and the freedom to spend time with them. And when we bought this place, Alyssa was doing taxidermy. Like I've done everything from just working for TSA. I worked as a corrections officer in a jail.
Butcher.
We have very supportive folks and they'd be willing to help in an emergency, but we don't have money from our parents. We had a ton of debt going into this. And so all that to say, Mindy, like, I hope the door is open for you to do it because it's very possible. And if you just take little tiny steps in the direction of the life that you want to live, like you'll look back if it's anything like us and you'll be like, holy smokes, we've come a long way. And this is an incredible life we get to live. So I just wanted to address that and say, I hope it happens for you and just start taking little baby steps in the direction that you want to go. But yeah, thank you for saying that. Okay, here's a question from one retired cop. What size is your ranch? What size ranch do you want? And how many untouched Mustangs could you handle? Good question. Good questions.
So start from the top.
From the top. What size is your ranch? We call it a ranch. In the title, I said ranch. I said ranch, and I was like, that's laughable.
It is very laughable, actually.
It's we're trying to speak a ranch into existence. Is what it is.
It's right at 2.5 acres, so it's pretty tiny.
Yep, this is 2.5 acres, and we have it almost optimized now. We're getting close. Alyssa's been working on that side of the property over there, getting a chicken coop greenhouse, and we're gonna have a little more space for equines, like penned in over there and stuff. So,
bigger pen.
Yeah. So 2.5 acres is what we have now. What size do we want? I mean, even if we had 5 acres, that would be double this. So that would be a blessing. But I think ideally, like in that 20 plus would be awesome.
Yeah.
20 plus would be awesome eventually. And we're okay with stair stepping, even from here up.
And we had a property that was 8 acres before this, but this property is actually way better for our equines than our 8-acre property because it has pasture. Even though they don't get to go out in the pasture all year long, they get to go out in the pasture a good portion of the year. And so that's nice to be able to go out and graze and have that. So
it's greening up too. It's almost time to kick them out, probably in a couple weeks.
they got to stay out on it late this year, which was nice. And so they've really only been pulled off a couple months. So
yeah, short winter this year.
Yep.
And then how many untouched Mustangs could you handle? That's a good question as well. You can start and I'll kind of think about my thoughts on that. It changed since we're full time now.
Yeah, now that we're full time, I think it could definitely be more, because so last year we were doing full time work for Ty Evans mulemanship. I was still finishing up my previous year's taxidermy, so I had full time taxidermy work I was doing, and then we're doing our horses, mules, and our channel and our business, which has grown into very full time as well. So we were like 3 full-time jobs. It was so busy last year. And now that we're not working for Ty Evans, and also I'm done with taxidermy, other than like 3 projects that I have left, there's a lot more time. Like, we're trying to edit more videos and put out more videos, but oh my gosh, like I can take all that time and dump it back into my equines now, instead of having to squeeze that in. And like, the people that know me, I mean, working with my equines is really important. Like, I'll skip a lot of things to make time to work with my equines. And so
eating.
Like eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the amount of guilt that I felt not being able to spend time with them was extremely stressful. Like, I would wake up at 2:30 in the morning stressing over not spending enough time with my equines. So this is way better. And all that being said, all that time that all the other things took, we can now put into our own equines, which is really nice. As far as how many unhandled Mustangs we could take on, it really just depends on the Mustangs. Like, obviously, Honey is very time consuming, so she takes a lot of time during the day. However, ones that are similar to Rooster, don't take as much time during the day, because you can work with them and get more done. So it really just depends. It depends on the time of year as well. Like, we do enjoy going into the mountains in the fall, and so we want to be mindful of that and be able to have them at a good place where when we do go, to leave in the fall for this trip or that trip, then they can sit there for a while. We don't have to worry about them regressing, and they've made it to that point. So, we wouldn't adopt a Mustang right before we leave for the fall. So,
yeah.
But that being said, I can see us taking on multiple at a time, especially if we do go pick up a few younger ones. Then I think we could take on a few at a time.
I feel like it would be no problem, as long as we're still doing this just full-time training and making YouTube videos, to have in the range of 5, plus or minus at a time, that really need like very consistent work. So like right now it's kind of, Mesa is almost about to bump up into needing full-time consistency, but right now it's kind of Taz and Honey
and
Rooster that really need full-time, and it's going pretty good. It depends on the horses and stuff, but it's like, I think once we had the space and we're just rolling with this new routine of just editing videos and working with horses and then mules and editing videos, I would say 5 plus or minus 2, would be kind of the sweet spot.
That's not going to happen here.
No, too small.
Yeah.
So we
in the future.
Yeah, we're maxed out right here right now on this property. So unless we can find something to lease or something.
We've been putting the word out a lot, finding some place to lease around here. So
hopefully putting the vibes out.
So yeah, put the good vibes out for us that we find a place.
We'd rather just buy a place. It's hard to think about putting a bunch of time and effort into someone else's place, but anyways.
It is, but yeah. Good stepping stone. With knots in my hair always.
Yeah, the sun came out and I realized how shiny and oily my face is. It's kind of gross looking. Sorry guys. Shiny. Or I'm glowing. Let's see. Oh, how are the cute chicks doing? You can do that while I get to the next question.
They're getting very big.
That was a fast one. Hey, someone just became a member. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. All my members, I will get the uncut version out for you guys. Sorry, I fell behind on that.
Here's a good question. Wow, I don't know where I'm at on this chat anymore. Oh, geez.
Honey's just over there scratching herself. Can you see her? Oh, now Jason moved. She's just over there scratching. She doesn't need her tree. She has all those rails, and she's figured out how to get all the good spots on those rails. She's pretty funny.
Here's a good question. From Sleepy Frogs says, any chance that Honey could produce a colorful Mustang mule for you in the future? Alyssa just mentioned that today, and I shrugged it off because we're not set up for any foals here.
No.
Even the most adorable mule foals, we're not set up for it here. But she was like, oh, she would have the best little mule baby, because Honey has some size. Like, she's a good sized Mustang. And that's the main thing
smart
that you worry about with a Mustang mule would be the size. A lot of Mustangs aren't very stout like Honey is. So,
but obviously we have a long ways to go before Honey would ever.
Yeah, it'd be great to touch her first.
Yeah. Can you imagine if she had a baby?
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
It'd be wild.
Not a good idea.
Jesse, let's see. The sun's out and it's hard to read the little screen now. Jesse says, all that makes me sad about the older mules, going back to what we were talking about a little bit ago about getting a younger mule. And yeah, I will add on to what I said earlier about choosing a younger mule. My favorite mule in the whole wide world is Riata, which all you guys know because I talk about her all the time. And she's my best bud. She keeps me safe. I love her so much. And she came with tons of bad habits and tons of fear of people and things. And now she's my best bud just a few years later. And I trust her with my life and I love her very much. So an older mule, even if it comes with a little bit of baggage, it can be really rewarding to work with an older mule as well. So I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't rule it out for myself. I wouldn't rule it out for other people on here. But yeah, old mules need love too. All right, here's another question from Living in My Own Time Zone. When might you start with a string halter rather than just ponying one horse? Oh, sorry. It says string rather than just ponying one horse at a time. So when are you going to start stringing them up, mule packer lady?
I don't know. We'll probably practice in the round pen and then the arena first before we go into the mountains. But once we get like Josie, Rooster is the head hoss. Honey, don't push on the gate. That's why I have it extra secured. Rooster is kind of the boss, and so stringing stuff up to him, he's gonna have to learn that he can't be that way when we're actually got a job to do. So everyone's kind of afraid of him, and all he has to do is pin his ears, and everyone wants to be like, whoa, I don't want to be near that guy. And so that's gonna take a little while to get it going there, because I think Rooster would probably be fine with one being ponied behind him. But they might break a string just setting back to get away from him. So we'll have to work through that. But as soon as Mesa and Josie are really good at ponying up in the mountains and we get them out a bit more, I bet those two girls can be strung together here pretty soon. Especially like Mesa could have someone behind her and she won't care. I do want to work with having a rope under their tail a little bit more. We just do that in the round corral. Just getting them used to that rope being under their tail so they don't freak out. They learn how to just keep their tail loose and drop that rope, and that way they don't get burnt, because that can really scare them pretty bad. So
it's pretty intimidating going from leading one to stringing them together, because you basically have no control of the one, behind your in-hand animal.
Yeah.
And so it's an intimidating deal. And I think that's why a lot of people choose mules, because mules are in general more content just to be like nose to tail down the trail. And but yeah, it's intimidating, and it's coming for us. It's like not far off. We almost have enough now to where we can string them together and take a comfy camp into the mountains.
Yeah.
So,
and if we had an older pack animal, they could go behind the green pack animal, but all of our pack animals are green. So
yeah, we'll bring you guys along with that as we start to string them together and try and set them up for success for that. We'll bring you along on that whole piece of our journey. Jesse asked, and I think I already know the answer to this, but I'll ask it just in case Alyssa knows. Speaking of feed, I saw a demo this weekend regarding Foraging First, I think is what it was called. Do you have any thoughts or heard about it? Foraging First.
Like, is that a brand?
It sounds like it. And my answer that I thought it was going to be is no, we haven't heard of it. But It'd be interesting to look into. I think I forget the event that Jesse went to, but it was that big one, maybe Equine Affair, something like that.
I don't know.
But
maybe it's like, you see they sprout greens. I don't know. Let me know if it's something
maybe
like that. There's brands doing that now.
That's awesome. You got to go to that though, Jesse, that Equine Affair or whatever it was called. Have you ever used baking soda to treat ulcers?
I haven't, and I've heard mixed things on that. So do your research before you do it. I've heard horses will go over and eat it, you know, if you give it to them free choice. But I've also heard it can cause that stomach acid to actually come back stronger because something's off in their gut, and so it can flare up ulcers after that effect wears off. So I've never used it because of that. I don't want to cause them to be worse, so just check it out before you do it. But some people say it works.
Question from Cray says, what are you guys having for dinner? We're on a taco bender.
Yeah, probably just tacos.
What we do is we have a bunch of elk burger, and then we made pico. Alyssa makes good pico. I guess it's pretty simple to make, but she does good though. So we have tacos with pico, a little cheese on them, a little sour cream, and we have these at our little local store. We have these really good like street taco tortillas. They're only like maybe that big around, and we throw them on the griddle, warm them up, and then put that elk taco meat on there and pico and sour cream. Is so good. I'm not tired of it yet, and we've been eating them a lot because they're so simple. We just make a big batch of meat, and then we put it in Tupperware in the fridge. You just pull it out, reheat it, and it's like good to go.
Yep.
Tasty, super fast, super simple, and we are all about simplicity these days.
Yes.
Question from Sarah says, is she still behind you in the round pen? Don't even ask that because you'll stress Alyssa out, because every morning she wakes up, she's like, is Honey still in the round pen?
Yeah, Rooster.
Yeah, she's still
forever
there.
scarred me on that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was out in the field, but still.
Yeah, Rooster jumped the fence, which is not anything like the round pen. The round pen is like 6'6", so we're pretty safe. But with these windstorms, we're like, oh man, that would be awful if a tree fell on the round pen and broke it and Honey got out. That would not be good. So Pitbull says, I'm back, and it is still Monday. There was a little confusion about what day Mountain Built Monday fell on earlier as the chat got fired up. But yep, it's still Monday here too, Pitbull. That one's from Susan, and it was about the chicks. I already asked you that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How they're doing?
Yeah, they're growing a little. Oh crud, man! Sometimes it loses my spot. What do you laugh?
Riveting.
This watching me scroll on the computer is riveting. Yeah, thanks guys for being here.
I did want to give a shout out to Thatcher. We got to meet Thatcher.
Thatcher's tuned out by now. We need to shout him out in another video.
Yeah, we'll have to shout him out in another video. And Jim and Jill.
Thatcher is probably, how old do you think? 6?
Probably.
We met a 6-year-old boy and his mom and I think brother, maybe little sister.
He had a couple siblings. At
the Salmon Select sale, is a horse and mule sale. They came up and said hi, and Thatcher watches the channel, and he was awesome. Adorable. And we wanted to shout him out, but I bet he's probably not watching at this point because these videos are kind of different. Yeah. But we'll shout him out again anyway. You keep going with what you're saying when I interrupted you. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, we got to meet Jim and Jill. So thank you guys for coming in, saying hi, and congrats on your mule. That's super exciting.
Yeah.
We got one. So, and then Vicky and Phil, we really appreciate you guys. So, and everyone else that came and said hi. That I'm sorry I can't remember your names, or I didn't catch your names, but we really appreciate it. So, if you guys see us out and about, like, please come say hi. So we really enjoy it.
It was awesome.
It was really awesome.
It was a big event here in Idaho, in Salmon, and the town of Salmon, Idaho. And there's a mule sale on Friday and a horse sale on Saturday. And a bunch of like our kind of people. There's a trade show, all kinds of like Roman home wall tents was there. Yep. There's pack saddle vendors. There's like leather patch hat makers. Anyway,
Ty does a clinic beforehand.
Yeah, Chris Clark does a packing clinic there.
Yep.
And anyway, our kind of people, and we got to meet a bunch of people who watch the channel, which was the coolest thing ever, because we see you guys on the screen and we always appreciate seeing the comments. But meeting some folks in person just made our whole weekend. It was pretty special for us. So anyway, it was awesome.
And Lori, we kind of saw you.
Yeah, Lori. Yeah, we saw Lori in passing, but then didn't get to catch up.
Didn't get to say hi.
I got to meet Lori at Chrome in the Canyon mule sale last year, and she bought a mule down there.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fun to be a part of that.
Sorry you didn't get the horse you were after, but hopefully you find a good one.
All right, let's see. Would a mule be ideal for the Canadian winter? Good question. That's from a little more altitude. I mean, good. I honestly don't know the answer to that. I feel like people keep mules in Canada in the winter, and here we have little stretches where it gets Fahrenheit, minus 20 at night and stuff.
Yeah.
And they do well, but
I have a friend that lives in Montana, and her winters get down to -50 Fahrenheit, and her mules do just fine.
She keeps them at home all winter too, huh?
Yeah,
they don't
just
pasture
out in the big pasture.
Yeah.
I don't even think they have shelters or really much of trees, but they all do good. They're nice and fluffy, and it's kind of a dry snow over where she's at. So if it's real rainy, obviously don't know what part of Canada you're in, but if it's real rainy, definitely have a place where they can get out and stay dry. But man, if they don't get wet, it's amazing that insulation that they can put on. They get fluffy. So hers do great.
Yeah, we don't blanket. They don't blanket over there in Montana. Nope. It's just natural. Good question. Here's another question from J4 CVT. It says, are there any clubs or horse groups that you belong to and ride with? Any mule or horse community? Our only mule and horse community is the TS Mules Mule and Horse Community.
Yeah.
And that's just Ty Evans and his group that he's assembled of awesome people all across the United States and beyond. But we live in such a small town. There's not any like horse groups here in our town. No. And Alyssa and I, we kind of basically do everything by ourselves, kind of on like by design. We enjoy just hanging out, just two of us and our dogs and horses and mules and stuff like that. And so I don't know that we would even join if there was one here, to be to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. I would love to do. There's a mounted shooting group, but man, like the closest place that they meet is like 2.5 hours away. So it's a pretty long drive once a week to go down there and back. So yeah, there's just not a whole lot around here.
Yep. Here's a question from Catan, I don't know, aka Tan Dogs. Reading's hard. What kind of camera setup do you like for filming your rides from the saddle? Do you use additional stabilizing equipment too? We use DJI Osmos when we're filming from the saddle, and they have built-in stabilization, or sometimes we'll use our cell phone. But yeah, the DJI Osmos do a good job filming from the saddle.
Yeah.
And they're good for color grading and stuff like that. So that's what we use, and we like them. And they're little. You just stick them in your coat pocket or in your saddle bag, and they don't take up much room.
Someone said, would be cool to find Honey's colt. Yes.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because I don't know if it was rounded up. It probably was rounded up at the same time. I know a lot of colts that they rounded up in fillies went to some youth events right away before they were even available to the public. And the BLM doesn't really keep records of that. Like if they have a colt in the facilities, at least not the ones I've asked about, don't keep records. So she was definitely pregnant in a picture I have of her, and she would have been about 2.5 years old. And from the pictures I saw when they rounded them up, she didn't have a baby at her side, and that was in August of 2024. And that would have been when she was about 3.5 that she was rounded up. So I don't know if she got bred back and she had 2 babies out there, or if her colt got rounded up, or if she was pregnant at the time and then she had a baby in the facility, because she would have had it probably the next spring, which would have been the spring of 2025. So before we adopted her. So there's a good chance that her baby was at one point there, but it's probably at this point already adopted out.
Because it was probably so adorable.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine a little baby Honey? Yeah. If it was a Pinto, I wonder.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Here's a question along the property lines from Kim Tyndall. Says, would you leave Idaho if the right place comes along? And the answer is yes,
Yes,
we would.
if it was in Wyoming.
We love it here, but and we've looked in New Mexico and
We have.
Arizona. We went and looked at that place in Oregon.
Yep.
If the right place came along, we definitely would. We do like our mountain views, and that's something that people have expressed on here. They're like,
Yep.
don't leave the mountains. We love seeing the mountains, and we do too. That's a big deal for us. But yeah, we would branch out. The main thing is we feel a very strong pull to train Mustangs and mules and be able to rehome them, and that would also kind of feed into YouTube, and it just all kind of works synergistically, if you will.
Good word.
Yeah, great word. But yeah, so it would all work together so well. We just feel like our bottleneck right now is the property size. Yeah. And again, we're very blessed to have this, thankful for it. But yeah, we would leave Idaho if the right property came along. We wouldn't leave the West though. We're staying West.
And
for
also
sure.
like being close to the facilities is something to consider. We don't want to be having to haul a Mustang multiple days if we can help it. It's a lot on them. So staying close to, and a lot of them are in Utah, one in Oregon, California, Nevada, that area. There are some in Wyoming, but and obviously there's a couple here in Idaho, but one's private, one doesn't hold a lot of horses. So anyway, staying close to those is probably a big plus too.
Shout out to Lil Nuggles for becoming
Lil
a Wrangler
Nuggles.
Plus member and having a great YouTube name. That's Lil Nuggles. Thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate our members, and I see 2 super thanks just came in, which is awesome. Also, you guys are people that come onto these lives are just the best. We appreciate you very much. Cray says, what's the largest animal you have taxidermied?
A buffalo.
Big giant life-size bison.
Yeah.
With
bison.
A rattlesnake in the habitat.
Yep, it
was
like
pretty cool.
Snorting at the rattlesnake.
Yeah.
I've done a few elk, life-size elk, big bull elk. Some bears, some mountain lions. So, but yeah, that buffalo was that bison.
The biggest.
People get mad if I call him a buffalo, even though I'm talking about.
Hey, bison. Our boy Jimmy is on here. Thanks for being here, Jimmy. Hey, I got to tell you, so New Mexico elk hunter says, hola, amigos. It looks like y'all had a very pretty day. And I got to say, Jimmy, we thought of you when we posted that short today. We were like, I feel like Jimmy's gonna appreciate this one. So the Riata Ninja short.
We're like, people have to watch till the end, or else they're not gonna even appreciate it. And I was like, Jimmy will watch till the end.
And if they do watch to the end, they still probably don't appreciate it. To be honest,
Riata's got some moves.
Yeah,
felt fitting.
Okay. Let's zip through a couple of these. We're already over an hour. It's almost time to feed.
And it's going to rain again.
Will you always rehome your full trained equines that you have selected to do that? And will it be local, auction, or how? Good question from Pitbull 1105.
Yeah, I mean, we can't get more without rehoming some, unfortunately. It is the worst part of it all. I bawl my eyes out every time I'll make myself cry if I even talk about it. So we're gonna move past that. Yes, we need to rehome them or else we can't get more.
Yep.
That being said, ones like Riata, Riata will never rehome. But even if we had gotten her to rehome, it would take a very, very special home to rehome Riata, just because there's a lot of things with her that people might not be patient about. I don't know. She would take a very special home. So yes, and then what was the other part? I kind of got off track. Trying not to cry.
Yeah. Will it be local, auction, or how will you do it? Yeah,
and so that part, we've actually talked about maybe doing an auction type deal with, say we went and got several Mustang colts, gentled them all to the point where they were leading, trailer loading, you could bathe them, right? You could pick up all their feet. They were good for the farrier, like all just the basic stuff, right? They're ready to go on to their new homes. People can start them however they want, kind of thing. Then we would consider maybe doing some sort of auction online, and people could arrange, transportation or whatever if they weren't local. And that would raise money for us to then be able to continue doing that, because it's going to take a lot of feed and care in that time. So that's something we've talked about. I don't know exactly how that would work, but it might be something we do in the future when we get a bigger place. Horses like Taz will probably just be not necessarily local, but we'll probably just kind of do like a private sale with him and just find the home we feel like is going to fit best for him. We're going to work best for him. So, yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't laughing at you. I was
No.
reading comments.
So yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't decided fully, but
the main thing is finding a good fit for whatever horse or mule that we're rehoming, and one
Yes.
that we feel good about, that the buyer is set up for success, and that the equine is set up for the best odds at a loving long-term home. And we haven't ironed it out completely, but great question. Let's try and zip through some of these fast so I don't leave so many people hanging towards the end of the chat. The thing I was laughing at, oh, it's gone now. Good. Jesse says, old mules need love too would be a great t-shirt. I think so too. With an old like mule that looks kind of like Eeyore, you know, ears hanging down. I would wear that shirt all the time.
Old mules are just
that is a good idea. All right, we'll go for speed on a few of these. Are the flies still bugging Honey?
Not today, but yes.
In general, yeah.
She just stands out there and does this. And
We're
her little
looking at-
tag flops, and she hates them by her face. I
we're-
feel bad for her.
We're going for speed.
Sorry.
Bam, bam, bam. We're looking at those fly predators that some of you guys recommended.
Yeah.
Any words of motivation for someone working through cold back bucking issues right now? Stay sticky, my friend.
Yes. Stay
Moving
in
on.
the saddle. No. Check for pain.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell people. You might have already, but it could be some pain sometimes. So
they said motivation though. Just turn on, put a little like Chris Ledoux or something on your phone, zip that thing in your coat pocket, and
hold tight with a leather fist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's some motivation for you, Jessica. Yeah, stick with it.
Check for pain. Do a lot of groundwork.
Yeah,
to get it sorted out.
Patty Grant says, you two are the most down-to-earth people on YouTube. I really enjoy watching you. Thank you so much. We've gotten some comments like that, and those kind of comments mean the world to us.
I try not to take ourselves too seriously, because
yeah, when you're as goofy as us, it would be hard to take yourself seriously. Here's another one from that one I can't pronounce. It's like a cat and dogs. A cat and dogs. That's what it is. A cat and dogs.
Hey.
All right, going for speed.
Sorry. Got it.
Is it sometimes a risk when adopting a Mustang mare that she could be pregnant without knowing it?
It is.
That's a risk / also maybe reward. Maybe it's 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah. So you have a wild Mustang mare that is very protective of her baby, and now you've got to try to deal with that.
It is a possibility.
It is, especially if you got one. They've been really slow to process the horses, meaning like vaccinations, freeze brands, all that stuff before they can adopt them out lately, just because all of the BLM is like kind of understaffed right now. Anyway, we won't get into that problem, but they've been pretty slow to get them processed and get them adopted out. So by that point, most of them have probably had their babies. That being said, when we adopted Rooster, there was a bunch of mares there that we could have adopted, and we chose not to, and a good portion of them had foals.
Yeah.
We chose not to because from when they rounded them up to the time we adopted Rooster, they definitely could have had a baby, and they did. A lot of them did. If they've been in captivity like Honey longer, they sort the mares off from the geldings or the studs, and then they geld them. But so like Honey should not be bred. The only thing would be if like something weird happened, or maybe the younger horses, sometimes they run the younger studs with the fillies when they're like very, very little. So
did you forget we were doing quick hitters?
Well, I'm just trying to tell people.
Just trying to tell the whole answer.
So yeah, if you can do the math from when they're rounded up and they should have already had their babies, you're probably pretty safe.
Yeah, good question though.
11 months, give or take.
Yep. Hey, Stephanie's on here. Hey, Stephanie. Awesome. Peach Farms, Stephanie.
Hey.
Let's see. I lost my spot. Oh no, I was supposed to be doing quick hitters. I was too busy giving Alyssa a hard time. One retired cop says, so if someone wanted to support you in getting 20 acres and work with unhandled Mustangs, it sounds like you would be open to that support. Absolutely.
Tell us where we'll park our trailer and let's go.
We got that living quarters trailer now. We're ready to roll.
Yep.
All right, let's see.
I got some panels we could bring with us.
Someone says, send in the vibes. Yeah, thank you. Here's another one. Says, actually, real quick before I get into this, Are these rapid fires a good way to end these with stress, or is this a good way
I'm feeling stressed.
to actually get through all the questions and not miss so many? Just stress you out
It's
with
a
bam,
good
bam,
thing
bam.
this is decaf, because otherwise.
Did Rooster's elbow completely heal?
He has a little bit of scar tissue in there. I can feel it. Some lumps. See, I feel like I have to talk fast. I have like so much pressure.
You don't have to. I just don't
but
want to leave people hanging at the end.
He has full range of motion. Like, it doesn't seem like it's bugging him at all. So yes, very thankful.
Linda Potter, or Potter Linda, gave $10 to Rooster.
Hey,
thank you. That's awesome.
Hope to get him some treats. He would love that.
Mindy says, I'm in New Mexico. Beautiful mountains here. I'm going backwards now because I lost my spot. Laura Denio says, I love watching you work with Honey. You're so patient and kind, and gave a $5 super thanks.
I appreciate it.
It is fun watching Alyssa work with Honey, in all seriousness.
I've been enjoying seeing her goofy side come out. She's so smart. She's so smart.
Potter Linda also says, do you sell elk sheds? We sell them to a local guy, the ones that we find here. We have a buddy who sells them, I think, on Etsy, but he buys them. He also
eBay,
sells them.
Maybe?
Oh, yeah, maybe eBay, but he sells them all over the place. So we just keep it simple and sell them to him, and then he sorts them, marks them up and stuff. Here's a question. Mustangs or mules? That's an easy, quick hitter.
Mules.
Over Mustangs?
How about a Mustang mule?
I thought it was going to be an easy one. I thought you were going to choose Mustangs for sure, and then it would be tougher for me, but I'd probably choose mule. But wow. All right, I think someone says he nuggles. This one's from Mackenzie. Will you guys be at Bryce Canyon Mule Days and the Chrome in the Canyon sale this year or next?
Undecided yet.
Hopefully, at least one of the two. Because it is so much fun and so many good people down there.
Yes.
So yeah, hopefully at least one of the two, but kind of undecided. We're catching our breath and just starting to kind of enjoy doing this full time. And so we're trying not to just cram our schedule full.
Yeah.
But good question and great event. I recommend. I went last year, and anyone who can go to that and is interested in mules, I highly recommend it.
And if you are looking for a good mule, that's like the top event we would recommend. They go for a lot, so you need to have some deep pockets. But if you're looking for a really good mule, they do a sift. They do, like, you can do vet checks, and so it's great. It's really good.
Yep. Yeah, good place to buy a good mule. This one from Megan Morris. Do you have a barn / enclosed stalls for your equines? How do you deal with the harsh winters? All we have is wind blocks here and natural tree cover.
And we don't really get that harsh winters. We get very little precipitation every year. Like, we've had a little more rain this spring than normal. Normally it just is frozen. So they don't really get wet, and they stay plenty warm. We give them extra feed. We do give them a lot of extra feed. But yeah, with a wind block, like, that's the main thing, is the wind gets kind of chilly, but we really don't get much rain or snow.
Here's a really good and valid question. I already scrolled away from it, so I don't remember the guy's name, but it said, are these fly predators native to the USA? And that is a very good, valid question, because the last thing we want to do is order some kind of invasive species that will throw off the little ecosystem. So that would be worth looking into, and I don't know the answer.
I don't either.
Yeah. I saw you got your chickens the other day. There was a certain one that you were interested in. Was that the one? Was there a certain type of... I wanted barred rocks, and they didn't have any. So that's probably what you're talking about, maybe. But they didn't have any.
Yeah. I like copper Morans, but they didn't have any of those either. But they did have olive eggers, which I don't know what cross these olive eggers are. It didn't tell me. So I'm not sure. But
all right.
The best.
So,
but they have buff Orpingtons, which I really wanted. I've never owned them before. They're supposed to be really friendly. So,
yeah, she's excited about them. She's already training them to be snuggled.
Let me snuggle you.
Speaking of snuggles, this one is from Lil Nuggles. Says, you guys will enjoy this. My son couldn't say snuggle when he was little, so he would say, "Nuggle with me, mama." And that's where the name Lil Nuggles comes from. That makes it even better.
I'm going to tell Josie that. Come nuggle me.
That's great. I love that. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. I think we're making it. I probably missed some because the little chat thing was jumping around on me. But we're gonna go feed our crew, and
Yes.
someone says please do another obstacle course.
That'd be fun.
Someone says, can you sell elk sheds? Maybe someday. We might put them on a website. The problem is shipping, but
yeah, it's really expensive to ship them because they're awkward to ship.
And just us being around and having time to package them and ship them and stuff is a little bit of a bottleneck as well.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, we appreciate you guys. I'm sorry for the ones I missed. Also, drop a comment if you hated the rapid fire as much as Alyssa happened to hate it.
Me out.
So we probably won't do rapid fire, even if you guys liked it in the future. We'll just miss
my brain
questions.
Goes blank. I can't handle the pressure.
Yeah. It's too much pressure.
Too much.
We don't need that stress in our lives. All right. You guys have a great week. Thanks for joining us this Mountain Built Monday, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye, honey.
Bye, honey, in the background.
She's asleep.